So, was it a rebuild, a retool? Did David Stearns have a plan? Did he not have a plan? Did he want to win, contend, compete? What are we doing? Those are the kind of things that we kicked around for what? 2 months? I don't know how long it was. And then in a matter of 6 days, it seemed like our whole world turned upside down. And I would have to think that the vibes are a little bit different than maybe even just a week ago. We're going to find out. We'll be right back.
We putting work, turning nothing into something. They feelings hurt, we turning nothing into something. Give a fuck if they don't like me, cause all this bread I count excites me. Turning nothing into something, nothing into something, turning nothing into something.
What up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on, everybody? What is going on? And welcome to Blunt Thoughts, episode 67 on a Friday night. Yes, on a Friday night. But I feel like we haven't had no fun yet, man. There was a lot of fun going on. We hadn't kicked it together, just you and I, one on one. Maybe mess around and take some phone calls, maybe not. But I wanted to just, politic for a little bit, man. We've had a lot of conversations. Like I said, man, we've been talking about is it contending, we're competing. Is there a plan? Is there not a plan? Is it a rebuild? Is it a retool? To me, it's always been a rebuild. It's always been a rebuild. And I know that offended some people or it upset some people because when we think rebuild, we're thinking, oh my gosh, all we're going to do is lose games and we don't care about winning. And then the offseason plays out the way that it's playing out. And we find out that Steve Cohen gets a casino and people are losing their mind. You see that he doesn't care. All he cared about was the casino. Now he got his casino. He doesn't care about the team anymore. He doesn't want to spend any money. He's put the handcuffs or whatever on David Stearns. And it turns out that it was none of that. But to me, I'll continue to say it's a rebuild. And now the rebuild is almost done. The rebuild is taking shape, right? And I kept saying, just because I say rebuild doesn't mean that I think we're going to lose 100 games. Just because you rebuild doesn't mean you necessarily lose 100 games. But I'm not here to tell you that I say that I was right because I was also wrong. Because I kept talking about contend to compete and how those two things were different and how compete meant anything, right? I kept talking about smoke screens and how David Stearns was going to make us think they were trying to compete, right? They'll dip the toes in the water with some players to say, hey, at least we tried, knowing damn well they weren't going to get them, right? But he was looking 27 and beyond. And then people would say, but Hector, there's going to be a lockout in 27. There's no damn season. But Hector, you got Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor here. You're going to continue to waste their prime? And I was like, yeah, I know, man. It doesn't make much sense to me either. It didn't make sense because it wasn't true, you dope. It wasn't true. And I knew there was a plan. I just didn't know what the plan was. I was trying to guess what the plan was. And I thought I was making an educated guess, right? And I kept saying, let's listen to David Stearns. And he keeps talking to us about the young guys and giving them an opportunity. And you can't play comments when I don't have my damn glasses on because I can't see them. So you're going to have to bring them back. TGIF, everybody. TGIF. Bring those back. Bring those guys. Let me see. What's up, Patty? How you doing? See, now Patty's here. Now we happy, baby. Patty says, look at the infield. It's a rebuild. It was always a rebuild, heck. But this dude did the rebuild in one off season. Exactly. I kept saying it's different types of rebuilds. But again, I thought it was going to be, rebuild where we compete. Now, first of all, I'm going to say what I said all along. I said it a million times. And you know what? I do have something here. Let me see if I find it real quick. Here it goes. Let me bring this up. Matter of fact, let's go here. My bad, Kweisi. What are you doing? No, why are you doing it here? You know what? It doesn't matter. You're the boss. On SNY, this is, and it's like a little, I don't even know what to call it. But here you got your 2025 New York Mets. You know what? Let's bring that back. And I believe I can pause that. We don't need to hear the music that plays. And then you see it. You see it. Nemo in left field, Taylor in right center field, Soto in right, McNeil at second, Peter Alonso at first, Beatty at third, a bench of Acuna, Torrens, and Vientos. They got the Marte as DH here, right? And then when you take away one, Nimmo, two, McNeil, three, Peter Alonso, and you add Edwin Diaz to that, and you want to add Acuna, but mainly those four big guys, the three position players with Edwin Diaz, you're rebuilding the team. Now, you can do it in one off season, like Carlos just said a little while ago. You can do it in one off season. But it was a rebuild nonetheless. It's a brand new team. This is a brand new team, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, of course, the anchors remain. Now, unquestionably, Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor. But now, the 26 Mets possibly look like this. And I say possibly because we don't know about Carson Bench. There's still time. But for now, you got Luis Robert out there in center field, who was talked about forever. You got Simeon at second base. You got Polanco penciled in at first base. You got Bichette at third base. You got Beatty penciled in at DH, and you guys know how I feel about that.
It makes me sick.
As if it was up to me, we mark Vientos. And then you added Freddie Peralta to the rotation. I agree, Carlos. I agree. You know how I feel about that. But people want to tear me up when I say that. Or when I talk about Vientos playing anyways. You know what I'm saying? Beatty's the apple of Mets fans' eyes, or a lot of Mets fans' eyes right now. Because, you know, we tend to have recency bias as fans. And Beatty had the good year last year. And then all the underlying metrics and all of this nonsense that makes me sick. But what are you going to do? But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, you can take this down, Kweisi. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that we got a little impatient. Right? And I kept saying, I'm going to keep an open mind. I always reserve the right to be critical. I'm going to keep an open mind. And part of it, I'm not even going to lie to you guys, is because I guess, acceptance. I feel like I accepted what I knew what was going on. And it was like, okay, we'll compete. And I'm a big believer in the game is played on the field, dirt and grass. So it may look a certain way on paper, but we'll see what the hell happens. And maybe the team competes enough and is good enough, it'll push David Stearns to make some moves during the season. Right? Make a couple of trades or whatever, and we'll see what happens. Get in the playoffs and see what happens. Well, there's no more of that. I think we all pretty much feel like this team is a playoff-bound team. Can they win a division? We'll see what happens. Should it be in the playoffs? If it's not, it'll be a huge disappointment. It'll be a huge disappointment. But I'm excited. I don't know about you guys. I'm excited right now. I'm excited about what we've seen in a matter of 6-7 days. And it was, I think John Heyman wrote an article, and I guess he has some kind of timeline, or he breaks it down. But we heard David Stearns talk about it. The Luis Robert deal, over a year in the making. Freddy Peralta, same thing. Bo Bichette, back in the GM meetings. That was being cooked for a couple of months. Right? So, yeah, he pivoted to Bo Bichette once Kyle Tucker chose the Dodgers. But it wasn't like, oh, let's panic. Or we panic. We have to do something to appease the fans. The fans are going nuts. Or we have to do no. It was like, okay, we're working on this Kyle Tucker thing. But we're also working on this that we've been working for a while. And we know we have this here. We know if we go here, we can have the player. Maybe because they had been working on Bo Bichette, because they had that as sort of a backup plan, as sort of a pivot, if they didn't get Kyle Tucker, who became their number one target. That's another thing, ladies and gentlemen. We have to give David Stearns credit here, man. We have to give David Stearns credit. One, for the moves that he's made, but also how he's played the game. How he's played free agency. How he's even played the trade market. But he played free agency so well that he almost had Kyle Tucker come back to him. And when I say come back to him, I know, listen, we talked about it already. The $55 million AAV is insane. The initial offer of 50 AAV was insane. But it was going to be on his terms of the short-term deal. Just 3 years with an opt-out, whatever the hell it would have been. So he was able to wait the market out. And it's not always going to work. And it didn't work. You can say it backfired because he didn't get his guy. And maybe Kyle Tucker was only the number one priority if it was at those terms. We've learned that. And we've been talking about it since David Stearns took the job. They're going to set a certain value both in years and in money. And they're not going to really budge from that. And right now, we know that the value or the years is going to be of the short-term variety. That's what he wants to do right now. So when you see that even when he does go get a Bo Bichette, it's basically for a one-year deal. It's basically a one-year deal. It's basically pretty much the same deal that he gave Pete Alonso last year. But here's the difference. He wanted no part of Pete Alonso. He was forced to bring back Pete Alonso. Right? This is his deal. I don't believe, Steve Cohen got upset. Steve Cohen this. No. Steve Cohen's letting this guy do the job. And yes, I know the Cohens were involved. If you've read the stories, they were involved in the recruiting of Bichette. They were involved in the recruiting of Kyle Tucker. Alex Cohen spoke to Kyle Tucker's wife more than once. More than once. But the difference here is, one, Bichette is what, 28, I believe? And it's a player that David Stearns likes and wants and fits his mode. Athletic, versatile. Right? Clutch. Something we all love. The runners and scoring position numbers are phenomenal. So it's a player, in my opinion, that maybe is playing this year out. And David says, you know what? This is a guy that I want to be part of the core. This is a guy that I can give an extension to. That guarantees maybe 3 years of this deal. Maybe even Bo Bichette himself says, you know what? I don't want to go anywhere. To hell with that, I'll opt out. Tack on a year or two, and I won't opt out. Let's redo this whole thing. That's the difference. So, yeah, we can look at it as a 1-year deal. Because I know there's people that feel that way. Oh, yeah, Hector, yeah, these moves are good or whatever. But I'm still going to wait and see. Obviously, we still wait and see. The game is not played on paper. The game is not played on paper. And I'll be the first to tell you, as much war as we've gained, right? Because you've seen that thrown around since all these deals have been made. Oh, look how much in war that Mets have gained. Look at where the Mets are in war. Well, one thing we can't ignore is how much the Mets have lost in games played, or they risk losing in games played. Because almost all of these guys that we have gotten, have missed substantial time. We know all about Luis Robert and his injuries. We know Bichette last year. I think he's been dealing with injuries for the last couple of seasons. Simeon, who actually, to be fair, has been pretty durable, but the last year or two missed some time. I don't think Polanco has missed any time. Matter of fact, Kweisi, do me a favor. Check to see if you could get somewhere where it has this year's roster where you can see these guys' games played from last year. Because if you have to look them up all individually, it's going to take forever. But the point is, yes, there's reason to be excited, and there's a lot to gain with these guys. And we're a different team. And not only the rebuild is in the players, it's in the philosophy, it's in the coaching staff, right? We have a brand new coaching staff. We have, if I look on Fangraphs and I look at their projected lineup, and this is projected lineup versus right-handed pitching. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new guys in that lineup, including Carson Bench, if he's able to make the team out of spring training. You got Bo Bichette, you got Polanco, you got Simeon, and you got Robert. And these guys are different types of hitters. They're very different type of hitters than what we let go. You got guys that strike out less, put the ball in play, hit a little better with runners in scoring position than the guys that we let go. And the more the ball's in play, the more chances of something happening. The more things happen, the more fun we have as fans. I think this is going to be a pretty exciting time. And then we add a guy who, listen, is he a clear-cut ace? It's debatable. Is he an ace on the Mets? Absolutely. Definitely to start the season. And we'll see how it plays out. Hopefully, Nolan McLean pushes him aside, right? And takes the mantle. And they become 1-1A, with McLean being the one. Or maybe a clear-cut number one, and Peralta becomes a number two, but a very good number two. But we'll see how that all plays out. But I think it's a time to get exciting. Now, something that stood out to me just looking around and messing around and looking on Fangraphs, is when I look at innings pitched, right? And we talk about a guy that can go 7, take us deep in games. But Alta's really not that guy. I think he averages 5 and a third inning, 5 and 2/3 innings. Now, some of that is because Milwaukee's careful with him. And, a lot of it, some of it is also because that's just how baseball is nowadays. But he pitched 176 and 2/3 inning last year. That is only 8 more innings than David Peterson. That is only 8 more innings than David Peterson, who pitched 168.2. Clay Holmes, who transitioned from a reliever to a starter, pitched 165.2 and 2/3 innings. Now, as Carlos said, 200 Ks for Peralta. I don't think any of those guys was anywhere near that. Well, let's see. That's crazy. I think has here for me games played. 139 games for Bo Bichette in 2025. 127 games for Marcus Semien in 2025. Peter Alonso played 162 games, right? Brandon Nimmo, I believe, played 159 games. So we're gaining, but we also lose some. Jorge Polanco, 138 games in 2025. Now, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, with our medical staff, we can help those guys stay healthy. I was just reading a little bit of thing about Luis Robert. I forget where the heck it was from. Listen, sometimes I'm reading stuff in between rides. I don't know where the hell it comes from. I just see it has a name that I'm interested in and I read it. And it was talking about how Luis Robert, very motivated, hard worker, just couldn't stay healthy. Just couldn't stay healthy. So we'll see. Maybe he can stay healthy here and how that translates. But there's a lot of reason to be excited. Another thing we talked about over and over, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to play some sound bites from Bo Bichette, is New York or the New York Mets a destination? I'm not going to talk about New York and New York City because I don't want to get into the politics of New York City and all the reasons why maybe people don't want to be here, maybe reasons why some of us want to move the hell out of here. Not me. But, I don't want to get into that nonsense. When I say a destination, I'm just talking about the New York Mets and players wanting to play for the New York Mets. So we're going to listen to a little bit of Bo Bichette and his press conference. And this is coming from all over the place, right? Some from the first initial introduction there. And then they do a little sidebar and the media ask questions one by one. But we got like 4 or 5 little clips here. And let's just listen. Oh, third base. And what was the conversation like with him coming here to play third base? Go ahead.
And played third base as a professional. Just what was that conversation like when it was broached to you? Is that something, how open were you during the free agent process in general? And how do you expect that transition to go?
I was open to doing anything if it felt like the place I needed to be. And like I said, it became very clear that, I wanted to be a Met.
Ladies and gentlemen, when I heard him say that, and he said, like I said, because before that, he had also said, as the process went along, it became clear that he wanted to be a New York Met. I got excited. Again, because we keep wondering, we talk about it, and, sometimes we fall to the rumors or whatever you want to call it. Not even that, just seeing what's going on, and we're like, man, nobody wants to be here. Why would you want to come here? Look at the way they're treating our players. They're homegrown guys. They're lifelong Mets. Why would you want to go to that? And you could say, well, yeah, look, Bo Bichette, you gave him $42 million. Who wouldn't go? And he could leave after a year? I get it. Of course, the money has a lot to do with it. The money has a lot to do with it. Play the next one, Quays. As he again continues to talk about the appeal of coming to play for the Mets and in New York City. I don't think this is it.
Yeah, I mean, my first priority is winning. And obviously this organization is doing everything they can to do that. The roster is great, like I said. And then on top of that, just playing in front of fans like this is pretty cool opportunity. And yeah, I'm excited to get out there.
Now, this stood out to me again, and I know he got I know he got $42 million. But when we were questioning whether David Stearns was necessarily trying to win in 2026, well, it doesn't seem to be any question in Bo Bichette's mind. Whatever they told him, whatever he saw from afar, he said, yeah, they're trying to win. And that was appealing to him. And that's exciting to me. That's exciting to me. To know that someone who was out there and had different places to pick from, he could have easily taken the Phillies and the guaranteed $200 million. And a team who's been in the playoffs how many years in a row already? Who's top 3, 4 as far as playoff odds? Why not? The Mets are a team in turmoil, right? The Mets are a team without a plan. The Mets are a team not trying to win. The Mets are a team that don't care. Well, not to Bo Bichette. Not to Bo Bichette. Play that again, Quays. Not to Bo Bichette. To Bo Bichette. It was an organization that's trying to win.
Yeah, I mean, my first priority is winning. And obviously this organization is doing everything they can to do that. The roster is great, like I said. And then on top of that, just playing in front of fans like this is pretty cool opportunity. And yeah, I'm excited to get out there.
So you feel like the organization wanted to win. Another thing that he kept talking about was the fans and coming and playing here as a visitor. And I don't know how many games he played here as a visitor. What? 6, 7 games? No, I mean, maybe 10. I don't know. I could think of them being here at least twice. And who knows if he was hurt. And, a lot of it, sometimes these guys, they say what you want to hear. Well, he's telling me everything I want to hear, and I'm falling for it. I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker. Play the next one, Quays.
A little bit bigger in New York, huge contingent of media folks. What does it feel like just to take in this moment and just to kind of soak it all up?
Yeah, this is pretty cool. I mean, luckily I felt a little prepared for it, being in the World Series. So I was like, well, I don't know if it can be bigger than that, but no, this is really cool. And I mean, playing in New York is a challenge. I'm not unaware of that. I'm not shying away from it, and I'm excited to take it on.
I love that. Playing in New York is a challenge. I'm aware of that. But I'm excited to take it on. That's the kind of attitude that we need. Those are the kind of guys that we need. They're gonna come here and you know what? Heck, keep it in good. Keep the good vibes. They're not gonna come here and get affected by booze or whatever the hell we do. By us, being New York fans. At least right now, from what he's saying, he's ready to take on the challenge. Now we'll see when the challenge comes on how he handles it, right? It's easy to say that, and then it's one thing you go 0 for 30, 2 for 33, which come on. The chances of that happening to him, uh-uh. Uh-uh. Right? But if it does, and we get a little uncomfortable, then he should already expect it, know what to expect, and be ready to handle it. I think we got one more, and then this one here. Ooh, boy, is he telling us what we want to hear? Is he telling us what we want to hear on this one here?
You mentioned how this is one of, if not the greatest city in the world, certainly a passionate fan base. Just how big of a draw was that for you?
Yeah, huge draw. I mean, this is one of my favorite stadiums. Being a visiting player, coming here and the atmosphere, unbelievable fans that hold you to a high standard. And, I'm excited
Yes, we do.
to meet that standard and try and help this team win World Series.
You mentioned how this is one of, if not the greatest city in the world, certainly a passionate fan base. Just how
Did
big
you
of a
hear that,
draw
ladies and
was that
gentlemen?
for you?
Did you hear that?
I mean, this is one of my favorite stadiums.
Listen closely.
Being a visiting player, coming here and the atmosphere, unbelievable fans that hold you to a high standard. And, I'm excited to meet that standard and try and help this team win World Series.
Try to help this team win a World Series. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. There's a fan base that holds you to a higher standard, and I'm ready to meet that standard. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, I don't know. Kweisi tells me he got another video. You got another video? The hell you got? All right. You the man. Go ahead. I don't know what this one's about, ladies and
You were
gentlemen.
so
Let's see.
close to winning the World Series last year. What would it mean to you to bring this club back to the Fall Classic and be a part of that?
Yeah. I think winning in New York is probably the biggest accomplishment you can have in sports. So I look at it as a challenge. There's, like I said before, this team has a ton of talent. A lot of proven guys who are proven in the playoffs, and I just look forward to chasing that goal with them.
Was this guy? What does this guy grow up? What does this guy grow? Like and I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, if you're, because I can't play the whole thing here, right? Because then we're just doing the Boba press conference. But if you haven't, and I'm sure you guys are great fans, and shout out to everybody here. This little intimate TGIF gathering. As I need to get to bed, you see I can't even barely speak. Yeah, on a Friday night, your boy going to bed early. I'll be up early, man. I got shit to do in the morning too. I got umpiring class again tomorrow too. And I'm just tired. Been up since like 3 in the morning. Fuck out of here. What y'all think this is? What y'all think this is? But for him to say the best fans in the world, New York is the best place to win. As Med City says he's from Florida. Yeah, Kweisi also hit me up in the back, said Orlando. But he seems to know a lot about New York. He seems to be very enamored with New York and playing in New York and wanting to win in New York. And to say there's nothing like winning in New York, like, dude, this guy's made for New York. This guy's made for New York. I think I saw coming from Carlos earlier that said he doesn't sound like a guy that's going to leave after 1 year. I agree. And I said it when we got him. Who's to say he's going to opt out? Maybe he likes it here so much he said, I'm not going to opt out. And like I said earlier, maybe he comes to the team and says, hey, how about, tack on the, I want to stay here. I want to stay here. For sure, Emezy, what's going on, my guy? He talks about his dad and why he's so successful at hitting with runners and scoring precision and why he has a 300 in average. And he talked about growing up around his dad and that being drilled into him about how important it was to drive in runs. You know how refreshing it is to hear that? I wish we could find that soundbite. You know how refreshing it is to hear that? At in a day and age where people dismiss driving in runs unless you hit a freaking home run. It's okay if you hit 40 home runs and 37 of them are solo. No problem. That's nonsense. I'll take maybe 5, 6 less home runs if you give me a couple of hits with man on base. Give me a gapper with the bases loaded instead of a flyout or a strikeout, or dare I even say a damn double play. You know? Just why. Again, and I haven't really mentioned these guys too much because I've said it a bunch of times already. We need to move on. Those guys that are no longer here, they've moved on. Brando Nemo's moved on. Peter Alonso's moved on. Jeff McNeil's moved on. I saw him again, I think it was earlier today, doing Talking A's or whatever the heck it's called. We know Edwin Diaz moved on. You guys were all upset he was smiling so much in his introductory press conference. Right? So we know he moved on. He was giddy. So we too got to move on. But what I was going to say is, I understand we lost the home runs with Pete, and there's still some people, man, I can't even get DMs, man. Pete, I'm not going to get over Pete. Pete. How we going to replace Pete's power? How we going to replace the home runs? And I said, I can't think about it like that. Dímelo de lo mío, what's going on, kid? We can't think about it like that. Agree 1,000%. Putting the ball in play wins games. Which guy? Bichette? Talk about Bichette and Measy? I don't see why not. I don't see why not. Let's see. I hope so. I hope so. Oof. How about McClain, Cy Young, and Rookie of the Year, and all that good stuff? That'd be nice. Somebody asked me that earlier, and I said, why not? I'd expect anything at this point, bro. I'd expect anything at this point. I think he's proven that. And I saw something earlier. I forget again. Sometimes we're doing this in between rides. But yeah, I saw something earlier pretty much talking about that. Doors ain't closed yet. Yeah, they feel good. They feel good about the team and where we are right now. So Mendy was saying that. But they're also not closing the door on continuing to upgrade the team and adding on. Hey, we could still add an everyday left fielder, but someone that's not gonna, Hey, Cindy, how you doing? Oh, it's a great time. I don't say great, but this is definitely a very good time. Definitely a very good time to be a Mets fan. Definitely a very good time. But good to see you on the live, man. Shout out to Cindy. Cindy's one of the best. Cindy can't watch live. She watches the replay. She'll comment. And I try to get back to all the comments, but again, little by little, little by little, little by little. But glad that you could stop by on the live, Cindy. Yeah, I just decided to do this. I mean, I was thinking about doing it all day, but again, sometimes I don't know, how my day's going to go, if I'm going to be able to do it. I actually wanted to do this last night after my umpiring Zoom class. It's 3 days a week, right? So last night was through Zoom. That Zoom was over, and I Zoomed my ass to bed. At about 9, the Zoom was over at 9. I was probably asleep by 9:07. Oh my goodness. So I wanted to do it today, politic a little bit, to celebrate a little bit. If you will, shout out to Keith, man. Shout out to Keith McPherson. If you were watching that live, when the hell was that? Wednesday night, where the news broke on Peralta, we celebrated a little bit then. Yo, CP, what's up, my guy? Been meaning to hit you up, man. Salute to you, brother. Got to get you on Blunt Thoughts, bro. I'm going to DM you. Unless you want to come on right now real quick, 5 minutes, up to you. Let me know. But I've been meaning to hit you up, bro. We got to chop it up. We haven't chopped it up in a minute. Shout out my guy, CP, man. Check him out, man. True Mets Talk. You can find him on X, find him on YouTube, and you probably find him on TikTok and all that good stuff that I don't do. Good guy right there. Good guy right there. Where the hell was I? But yeah, we celebrated a little bit with Keith, but I'm like, nah, man. I got you, brother. I'm like, nah. I gotta go celebrate with the people, man. I gotta go celebrate with the people real quick. But shout out to Keith, man. Had tons of fun doing that on Wednesday night. Kweisi, how about we do that, man? How about we bring up the homies information for tomorrow afternoon. If you're in New York City or in the New York City area and you can make it out to the village, between 2 and 5 p.m. tomorrow at Bleecker Trading, 96 Christopher Street. Content Creator Roundtable hosted by Keith McPherson. Go out there, chop it up, man. You never know what could happen, man. Never know what could happen. You never know who you could meet. You never know who you could collaborate with and what that could lead to. But yeah, shout out to him. To me, what he's trying to do is a great thing. And he doesn't have to do it. He doesn't have to do it. He could say, I've already made it. What the hell do I care, right? But we always talk about don't forget where you come from. Right? Don't forget where you come from. Well, that's exactly what Keith is doing. Not forgetting where he came from. Mad City says, good episode with Keith. Seems cool. And when he's not trying to troll us Mets fans. Yeah, listen, man. That is what it is, man. I tell people all the time, like, you make with that what you want. What I do is I ignore it. I laugh sometimes. Shit. Sometimes I agree. And that's why I don't get crazy with it. And I deal with it. I'm my personal, with my peoples, my friends and family. You know what I'm saying? I deal with it all the time, the trolling. Most of my friends, I'm from Washington Heights. Most of my friends and family are Yankee fans. You think I don't deal with trolling from them? I ignore them bastards. Fuck them. Yo, Master Flip, dime a ver, ¿qué es lo que es de lo mío? So yeah, Keith is gonna troll. He gonna do what he do, but listen, and I don't know him personally, right? Seems like a cool cat. Seems like a cool dude. I met him one time. I saw he was doing this event. I said, you know what? I gotta have him on. It's a great thing. You dig? It's a great thing. So again, tomorrow, 2 to 4, 96 Christopher Street, Bleecker Trading, Content Creator Roundtable, if you're into that. Maybe you say, you know what? I don't need that shit. Do this on my own. Hey, go ahead. That's what it's about, right? That's what it's all about. What else? What else we got here? Yo, who the hell now? I'm a little upset. I'm a little hurt. Who's going to put me on TV? Who's gonna put me on TV? As, I don't know if you guys know, and gals, the great director of SNY, John DeMarsico, put a post out today saying he will no longer be with SNY. That was a little disappointing. He says, this wasn't easy to write. Thank you for taking a moment with it. So we're going to take a moment with it. And ladies, I'm kidding, ladies and gentlemen. I'm half kidding, right? He doesn't know who the hell I am. I just been lucky that he's picked my section, I guess, a couple of times. And he said, oh, look at that dope. And they've put me on, right? But he says, after 17 seasons with the Mets on SNY, my time directing games there has come to an end. I was incredibly fortunate to help tell the story of this team for nearly half my life. After a lifetime of fandom that made the opportunity feel almost impossible when it began, from the very start, I believed deeply in the idea that baseball is cinema. I poured myself into that belief, grateful for the trust to take creative risks in service of the game and the fans who embrace them. And I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I'm probably butchering this great piece and not giving it the emotion and the proper reading that it deserves. But hey, it's blunt thoughts. It's what we do. Anyways, over time, as the broadcast continued to evolve, it became clear that its future was moving in a different creative direction. Coming to terms with that hasn't been easy, especially when the work mattered this much and felt so deeply tied to who I am. Mets baseball and the community around it, it became part of my identity in ways I'm still processing. That doesn't disappear just because a chapter ends. I've never been a free agent before. I'm taking a breath, looking ahead, and carrying a lot of pride and gratitude with me, while remaining open to the next place where that same care, curiosity, and belief in storytelling can live. I don't know, John. Are you gonna feel about wherever you go like you do the Mets? If you're a lifetime Met fan, it's gonna be tough. But good luck to you. I love this game, this art form, this crew, and the fans who made it matter. And I'll miss it all more than I can put into words. I'm gonna miss you, John. Who gonna put me on TV? Nah. But there it is, man. And that's a big loss. That's a big loss, man. That's a big loss. Now, I gotta love my guy Junior. Yo, dime a ver, villain. I gotta love my guy Junior because I don't know. Junior should have a feature, like a special segment of his own. Yo, we're gonna have to talk about that, my guy. We'll even block out your face or whatever, and we're gonna have Junior's blunt thoughts, and we're gonna put you on maybe once a week during the season or something, and you're gonna come give us a blunt thought. He said, I know I'm in the minority, but I was praying for the day that dude left. You can watch the pitch being thrown from between the umpire's legs so much, or from over the umpire's shoulder. Listen, I'm not, and that's a blunt thought, but that's what this is about. That's what blunt thoughts is about. You come here and you express your true feelings. Yo, there was sometimes that I was like, yo, enough. Can I just watch the damn game? Can I just watch the damn game? Sometimes I felt like it was too much. We got to hit pop, 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 pop. And I was like, come on, just stay on something. Stay on the crowd for a little bit, especially when you're showing heck. Or stay on the players for a little bit. You know? So I can understand that, Junior. Now, when I see that, I'm like, damn, add another one to the losses, right? Add him to the list of Pete, Nimmo, McNeil, Diaz. I said, all we need now is breaking news. Talks between SNY and Keith Hernandez have broken apart. They've decided to move in a different direction. Keith wanted too much. That would be something. That would be something. But I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. But yeah, man, shout out Jonathan Marsicle, man. Good luck on your future endeavors. Yeah, Junior's, I understand Junior's sentiment. Like I said, there were times that I'm like, yo, slow down with the nonsense. Let's stay on one thing. You distracted me. But there was a lot of things that were good, man. Those entrances with Diaz. Fucking DeGrom. Remember when DeGrom first came back? What was it, 20? Was it 22? Was it 22? The transitions that he would do. He did good work, man. He did good work. But I hear you, Junior. But shout out to him. But my bad, Quays. Go ahead, do your thing. Whoa, wait, what's okay? Let's talk about this now. So we could do without Keith. Anybody else feel like that? As my guy flips, I could live without Keith. If Gary bounces, I'll watch the opposition's broadcast. So, okay, so let me see if I'm processing that correctly. So you really like Gary. Keith, not so much. For me, I could care less. No, I'm gonna lie. I don't like Steve Gelbs doing games. No offense, Steve. If you see me in the ballpark, interview me one day, man, as a psycho fan. Anyways, no offense, but I don't like you doing games. I'm not really too much into Daniel Murphy. Blevins is okay. I think Ron Darling's a little bit of a jerk. So I don't really, whatever. Now that, Reyes will be interesting. Reyes will be interesting. And I think Gary Cohen's also a little bit of a jerk. I could do without his ass too. Golly heck. Those are two guys you probably never get on Blunt Thoughts. But they probably don't want to be on Blunt Thoughts either. Keith will probably be on Blunt Thoughts. Keith is cool. I don't know, man. Gary be lost, bro. I think Gary's starting to lose his eyesight like me. He be lost. He's a little bit of a jinx. Gelb sounds like Mets on Peacock. Yeah, Murphy. I don't know. Murphy with his, I don't know. Murphy, I like Wayne. But Wayne was on radio, wasn't it? Did Wayne do TV for us? I think Wayne was mostly on radio, right? I liked Wayne. Man City says, nah, Gary, Keith, and Ron is the ultimate trio. I like all of them. Gary is an amazing play-by-play guy. Keith gives good insight on defense and hitting. Ron, good for the pitch. I think they used to be. I think now they just, sometimes they mail it in, man. I don't think Keith is as hard-hitting as he used to be. Ronnie's good. Ronnie, I'm not going to lie. Ronnie's good. I think Ronnie's a jerk. Listen, I know Lenny Dykstra's a jerk himself. I don't like what Ronnie did to Lenny Dykstra. And I just seen Ron a couple of times, and he just doesn't seem too friendly. As opposed to Keith, super friendly. Gary Cohen,
It makes me sick.
been in the elevator with that guy like 4 times in Citi Field. And he'll stand there, and not just like me by myself. And people are saying he just, hi. Like, dude, what the fuck? Every time, same deal. So, after the second time, I act like I don't even know who the hell you are. I don't give a damn. But anyways, how did this turn into? This goes from shouting out somebody and giving them props to a fucking bash session of the broadcast. Blame Master Flip, bro. He started this shit. You. Oh, man. Yo, I'm telling you, Kenny, man. I'm telling you, bro. He's like a little bit of a jackass, bro. But anyways, let's get off that. Man, we should have opened up the phone lines today. That would have been fun. But at this point, it's almost time to get out of here. It's almost time to get out of here as we approach an hour. Yo, eso es culpa tuya, Flip. Tú me pusiste a hablar mierda de esos tigres, loco. I'm never going to get on SNY again. They're going to make sure of that. Oh, man. Let me see what else we got here. But, man, listen. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's exciting right now. It's exciting. It's a time to be optimistic about this team, man. It was looking grim, gloomy grim, whatever the hell you want to say for a little while. Right? We were a little confused. I sure as hell was confused. Like I said, I kept talking nonsense, and they said, "Heck, shut the hell up, bro. Shut up. You talk too much." But that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. But I was wrong. And guess what? I am so happy to be wrong. Like I did a little video, man. Shout out to the people that want to hold me accountable or whatever. Or, the bookmark clan that want to bookmark stuff and they want to throw things in your face. Shut up. Yeah, I feel like we were gonna try to contend. Well, I feel like we're trying to contend now. I feel like we're trying to contend now. Yeah, I read the thing. I read everything wrong. I read it wrong. I read it wrong. And I'm happy. But it doesn't mean anything. Still got to go out there and do it on the field. I don't even know how to take this from Junior, bro. Mr. Hot Take. This is the most complete team on paper that Mets have had going to spring training in over 20 years. Game for War says Gary has always been a jinx. The second he mentions something, it ends up Dave has 6. Yup. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Bring that other one back from Junior Quays. My bad. No, the other one, the one you put up after that. Yep. Nah, that they definitely have. That they definitely have. Ramos says put Bartolo and Jose Reyes and let them do the half the broadcast in Spanish. That would be something. Now listen. Diarrhea. This is gonna be the only time that we're gonna allow that. Okay? Let's not throw that into the air. But absolutely. When it was first announced that both those guys were pitching in the Classic, you guys already know I said I don't like it. I don't like it. And not so much because of injury. I don't like it because, one, McLean is a rookie. I know he pitched last year, 5 games, 6 games, but he's a rookie. And Holmes just made a transition to starter. I need those guys to have a good, balanced spring training with us, not messing around, having to speed things up, going out there, high leverage games, in freaking March. But they're going to do it. So, yeah, let's hope that they come through healthy, but let's not talk about it too much. Let's just, let's not put that out there in the air. And I think, what's his face? Peralta was supposed to pitch, but I think he pulled out. I think he was supposed to pitch for DR, but I think he's not going to pitch. Shout out to my guy, Jim, our next. Jim, damn, I don't want to say it. Cullen, I think it is. Cullen. Who we were talking back and forth, and he was telling me that Peralta pulled out of the WBC because of arm trouble. I'm like, dude, don't tell me he got arm trouble. So you're trying to tell me that Stearns is incompetent? Like Stearns didn't look into this stuff? So I don't know. I don't know. Delomio, you still here? What do you know about that? Flip. What do you know about that? You know anything? Have you seen anything about that? Because I haven't seen anything about that. Besides, he sent me an article that Peralta's not going to play in the Classic, but it didn't say anything about arm issues or anything like that. So I hope that's not the case. Med City said that Peralta said he was pitching for DR 2 weeks ago. Interesting. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, but not only them. We also got Soto going over there. We got Lindor playing in the WBC. Let's hope all of our guys have success and come out of there nice and healthy. And ready to take on the season. Let's see. Oh, nice. Really, Ramos? Enjoy that, bro. That's what's up. That's what's up. Ramos says he got tickets to the WBC in Puerto Rico. And I think they're also, isn't Puerto Rico playing a major league team out there, or is it only DR? I know DR is playing somebody in DR. I think it's the Tigers, if I'm not mistaken. Nice. House says, I named my kids after this team. My daughter is Shay and my son is Carter. You also said before that Buxton or bringing back Beta would have two good moves. Listen, it could happen, but we'll see. They did bring in oh my gosh, I forget his name. Brujan, Vidal Brujan, is that his name? Something like that. Who pretty much plays all over the place. So there's your backup guy. That's your utility guy. And this is what I kept talking about, right? When I'm saying I don't want Luis Angel Acuna being like a pinch runner, come defense off the bench guy. Like, he's too young for that. That guy they bring in from Minnesota, let him do that job if he could win a job out of spring training. You know what I'm saying? But I think we have to feel a lot better, ladies and gentlemen. I think we have to feel a lot better. And it happened fast. Up until about a week ago, we still didn't know what the hell this team was. And we ain't like anything about it. We didn't like anything about it. Now, I'm not here to tell you, yes, guarantee we're going to win a World Series or anything like that. But I think we're going to see some good baseball. And listen, shout out to David Stearns. I kept talking about how, he's going up here with these smirks and telling us about how he feels good about the team that he's going to be able to build by the end of the offseason. And I'm like, well, time is running out and we're not seeing it. Well, here you are, Heck. Again, shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. And my guy, Kweisi, says he got one more sign. But, you know what? I didn't hear this. I did see where David Wright made some comments about Bo Bichette and his transition to third base. Let's see what David Wright had to say.
Probably like most Mets fans, excited. I got a front row seat to see what he can do. Playoffs last year, just the energy, the electricity, kind of that confident swagger that he brings to a team. And on top of that, he's a heck of a player. So I think it's a welcome addition.
Concerns about him playing third base?
If I can do it, anybody can do it. So, it shouldn't be that hard, but no, he can pick it and, such a great athlete. I don't see it being I see it being a seamless transition. Probably.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear. And listen, man, again, there's a lot to be excited. We all watched the playoffs last year. We all watched the World Series. Even if I'm not watching. The Mets are out. I don't want to watch. Baseball's over. That was too much of an exciting series for you not to get captivated by it or to start watching, even if you weren't watching. By Game 7, everybody was watching. And we saw what this guy was able to do on one leg, having barely played. Somehow he was able to get ready and go out there and compete at the highest level in the biggest games. Yeah, I'll take that any day. I'll deal with whatever the hell growing pains he's going to have at third base. Yeah, I hear that, Jeremy. Great series, bad result. Ray says we should all feel great compared to 2 weeks ago. Absolutely. What was going on 2 weeks ago, you already know.
It makes me sick.
But now we feel pretty damn good. Yeah, but not everybody's that like that, House. Not everybody says I'm a baseball fan. I'm gonna watch no matter what. I watch too, no matter what. Now I don't make it appointment television. You know, I'm home, whatever. I watch. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Share it with your peoples, man. It could get a little crazy in here sometimes, but you know, we have a little fun. We have a little fun. I believe so, Darren. I believe so. I believe so. Took him deep. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you guys for coming through. A little short gathering, little small gathering, intimate gathering, but that's how we like it sometimes, and especially when we just do things out of nowhere. But real quick, we will be back Sunday night. It is going to be a late one. It's going to be a late one, but to do what I wanted to do, be able to accommodate everybody, we're going to have to do it late. So Sunday night, ooh, don't kill me, 10 p.m. 10 p.m. Sunday night. We're going to have a little bit of a round table, and we're going to have my peoples on here. And it's going to be, oh, no offense to anybody, but it's going to be a little bit of a Latino vibe. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of a Latino vibe, a little bit of a Latino round table. I'm going to have my guy Anthony Subway the Shades going to join us. I'm going to have my guy Dave, Top Bunk Sports join us. And my guy Randy Talks Mess is going to join us. And we're going to have some fun. We're going to get their thoughts on how the offseason has gone and how they feel now and all that good stuff and what they think about this team and what their expectations are and all that good stuff. So Sunday night, 10 p.m. Hope you guys can join us. Thanks again for joining me tonight. But it's been a rough ride. It's been a rough ride. Same thing here, Houseman. Appreciate you. It's been a rough ride. Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate you, man. It's been a rough ride. It's been a little roller coaster. And we used to ride on a roller coaster during the season. In the off season, we kind of want to cruise, right? We want everything to go smoothly. And it had anything but that. It was a lot of bumpy rides. It was a lot of turbulence on that flight. But right now, it feels pretty dang good. It feels pretty dang good. Smooth sailing. But it's only on paper. We'll see what happens. But see you Sunday night, everybody. You already know what it is. Enjoy the rest of your Friday night. Be careful out there this weekend, man. And you don't have to go out in that snow. Do not go out in that snow. Hopefully these weather people are wrong and it is nothing. But we'll see how that plays out. But you already know, man. No matter what the hell is going on, snow, sleet, rain, don't fucking matter. It's always let's go, Mets. Good night, everybody. Peace.
Full of animals and we made ourselves with minimal. Fuck you, no subliminals. Putting in this work, nigga. That's why they feelings hurt, nigga. Swear we need a hearse cause we rep our shites to the dirt, nigga. If I'm in the club, I'm